On the other side of this record, you'll hear the result of some intensive planning and dedicated work by two tremendously talented and dedicated people in the music business. Anita Kerr and Rod McKuen have impressive credentials as writers, performers, and producers. Their many faceted abilities have associated them with some of the top hit artists and records of the past few years. The Sea is a concept originated by Anita and Rod. Their reasoning and their techniques in preparing and carrying out this project are fascinating to anyone connected to or aware of the record industry. Both are here and will give you some insight into the project. First, Rod McKuen. Rod, has there been acceptance of similar type albums as The Sea in the past?
Well, there have been a number of albums on the same order, a couple I've been involved with. Most notably an album called The Lonely Things that Glenn Yarbrough did last year. And that's been quite a successful album. As a matter of fact, I guess it's about the most successful album Glenn's had. The difference was that there were songs in the album as well as spoken word. Our album, The Sea, is strictly a spoken word album with what I feel is tremendously exciting music by Anita Kerr and some very soft, we hope, effects that add something to the album of the sea and birds and various things you associate with nature.
When it's all put together, Rod, just where do you think the appeal lies? Is it a teen project, an adult college? Where should it be merchandised, and who is it going to appeal to?
Well, Joe, that's difficult to say because I never try to think about who you appeal to. I think a lot of people make mistakes in trying to judge markets and decide what goes where. I think if something is good, it should have a wide appeal to everybody. We all know that there's no such thing as teenagers anymore unless they're about 9. I think after that they become pretty intelligent.
Rod and Anita, the combination of both of you is an unusual one, and I believe the first time you've worked together in any such extensive project. Anita, how did you get together?
Well, Rod approached me, really. The Sea was his idea. And so he called and asked if we could get together and talk about it. And so he, in length, told me his idea. And I thought it was a tremendous idea, so naturally I was very anxious to work with him on it. And also because I admire him very much as a lyricist.
Who did what in the album?
Well, Rod, to begin with, gave me titles, which of course now have been changed since he heard the music. This was before the music was written. He gave me 14 titles and just a very sketchy line or two, which would be an idea of what he would be saying when the poems would be written. And from that, I went home and followed his little routine, and he also suggested things, you know, maybe it would be nice to have a harpsichord here or the piano on this one. So I went home in my little room where I work, all by myself for about a couple of weeks, and wrote the songs and the arrangements.
Have you ever written music before?
I have, but nothing on this scale. I mean, just little cute type songs and basically instrumentals, but nothing this involved.
The strongest association in the music business for which Anita Kerr is known is, of course, with the Anita Kerr Singers, Grammy Award winners and top record sellers. Is there any of the Anita Kerr Singers in this album?
No, it's strictly instrumental except for the voice reading Rod's poetry.
Rod, has the sea been a hang-up with you for some time?
Well, I think it has. Not only the sea, but nature altogether. I'm kind of an outdoor type. I like living close to the ground. I'm like Frank Lloyd Wright in that concept. But the sea has always had a strange fascination for me, and I have attempted over the last several years to write about the sea, but of course I never really got to it until this time. Anita was right in saying that I did give her some ideas on the music, but when the music was finally recorded, when I heard it for the first time, it was such a revelation that I tore up all my ideas and started all over again. I was really inspired by the music, and I think, as far as I'm concerned, it's a perfect marriage of words and music from my standpoint, and I can't wait until we start the next project.
And for you, your opportunity to hear the sea is yours simply by turning over the record and hearing some of the things that Anita Kerr and Rod McKuen have put together in this Warner Brothers album.